It is Thursday, August 21st, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by Mountain Dew. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I'm Chris Rose, producer Dan, and intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Big shout out to Jolly Olive for filling in yesterday as we were taking Brady back to his sophomore year of college. So on the road, having fun, back around college atmosphere. Oh, well, you back around. You missed the college atmosphere. Do you regret it at all?
I had enough of a college experience. I feel like the low-level minor leagues was very college-y at some points. And then shout out CSUN, go Matadors. I was like an honorary CSUN guy.
Really? I didn't know that.
I had a friend that was like a president of the frat, so I got all the good parts of college, no school. So I'm just a dummy that partied a lot.
You're far from a dummy. You just partied a lot. That's okay. Could you imagine walking into a party as Trevor Plouffe? So what do? Do you go to which college you go to? I don't. Why? Well, what do you do? I was a first rounder, the Minnesota Twins.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I had a Mercedes G-Wagon back in the day too, and I had it good for a while there, Chris. Had it good.
Oh, you still got it good. Well, now you've got it better. Exactly. But man, oh man, those fun times. Oh yeah, that'll be on Baseball Today After Dark edition. We'll save it for the off season when we're looking for a little content.
I was always a good guy. Okay,
I'm sure you were. Tip of the cap. We started out with this little Sparky, head to toe in Blue Jays gear, checking out his team, down in his popcorn. I don't know why. I've watched this clip like 20 times and laughed every time, dude.
It's so good. First of all, I love popcorn, so I'm with this kid. But yeah, he's just like, to be young and just oblivious to the world and just having a great time with just not a care.
Amazing.
We're way
Look
past
at him,
Chris.
He's just shaking it. So, do you prefer ballpark popcorn, movie theater popcorn, or making your own popcorn?
Movie theater. I'm not a big popcorn guy at the baseball field. I don't know. I just don't do it. I'll do peanuts instead. But movie popcorn is legit, dude. And I don't use a bag like that. I take the bag. I get a tray. I'm more of a tray guy than a bag guy.
Do you put butter on it? That crappy movie?
Not really. No, I don't need that in my life.
I don't either. I'm always curious, though. Like when I go to a ball game, some people are like, oh, I've got to have this or I got to have that as a snack. And people can let us know. I'm not the diehard snack. Like, do I have to have a hot dog every time I go to a ball game? Maybe. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather have like some seeds or peanuts than anything else.
Nice. Good call. Peanuts, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't mind throwing them on the ground. I don't feel bad about it. That's just part of the deal. All right, let's get to it. Shohei Ohtani, back on the mound last night, out in Colorado. He got rocked on the scoreboard and by the other team.
Line off of Ohtani's leg, and everyone's going to be safe. And now, the attention to Shohei, who was hobbling. That liner got him square in the leg.
Yeah, he came out eventually. Dave Roberts said afterward, planned day off on Thursday for him. And then he should be good to go Friday for that huge series down in San Diego. But, man, when that happened, like the baseball internet stopped.
It's a good place to get hit. Like, that's the biggest bone in the body. That's your biggest muscle in the body. Like, I think when you initially see it, as long as you see him running after the ball, it's fine. You got a little Charlie horse or, a bruise, if you will. But I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I hope so. The bigger question is, now his ERA is like over 4.5. I think he's made 10 starts since he returned to pitching. What do you think the Dodgers can count on him when they get to October? And I do believe that they are going to punch their playoff ticket.
I think you can count on him for a ton. I mean, I don't really care about one start in Colorado. I think, he's built up is the biggest thing. He's gone 5 innings now. I think we can get him probably a little bit closer to 6 or 7 by the time the playoffs start. But they can kind of play it anyway. I do believe he's going to be a starter. I know there's been some talk about him. Hey, but if he comes out of the bullpen, but I don't think that's feasible. And I don't even think they can do that without losing the DH. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Ohtani rule is only for him as a starter. So he'd have to like close a game out, because my interpretation of the rule is he can start in DH and then come out and still be the DH. But if he came in a relief role and then came out, he could not be the DH. So
that sounds right.
I think he's going to start. I think he's going to be fine. Like, his stuff is played up big time this year. A lot more use of the sweeper, fastballs. He's thrown it harder than he ever has. He's going to be dominant, Chris. Like, I'm not worried about this guy at all.
No, and he's got more than 11 Ks per 9. His walks are he's had 5 walks so far, which is pretty incredible. You want to pass by? Yeah, just wave to Plouffe on the way. There we go. There's
my queen.
There's surprise appearance by the queen. She's not trying to sneak out after, we hooked up at the dorm.
Walk of shame for Michelle.
No, it's not the walk of shame. Was that the walk of shame, honey? It was not?
Maybe the walk of fame. After leaving Chris Rose, ain't the walk of fame.
It's not that either. It is definitely not that. Where were we with Shohei? So only 5 walks so far. That's one every other start. That's going to play in the playoffs. I think it's going to be really, really interesting, though, in terms of how they stack their rotation, assuming that everybody's healthy. Blake Snell has pitched well since he came off the injured list. Glass now's been great. Yamamoto, for the most part all year, has been outstanding. And then Shohei, remember, they were down.
You forgot somebody.
Who'd I forget?
Kershaw. Oh, what are they going to do with him? That's my biggest. What are the Dodgers going to do? It's what are the Dodgers going to do with Clayton Kershaw?
How do you handle this?
I don't know. We know the track record. It's no secret. It's talked about a ton. He's pitched well this year. You just mentioned 4 deep right there. Pretty good pitchers. It's all you really need in the postseason.
That's fascinating. I have no idea what to. Dodger fans, have we heard anything?
Dodger fans are like, that's such a hard question for Dodger fans in particular to answer, because they love Clayton so much, but they've also seen the postseason.
Yeah. God almighty. That's going to be interesting. Do you think? Well, everybody says, yeah, just throw Shohei at the back end. But I think you brought up a great point that I didn't even think about, was losing the DH and all that sort of stuff. That's
almost positive that's the rule.
Yeah. That's something we definitely have to look up. Sawyer, I don't know. Maybe you can dig on that. See how we do. In the meantime, the Yankees, they continue to feel right at home in their spring training home as the G-men came up clutch in extras.
3-2. Drilled deep to left field. Simpson turning, looking. See ya! A pinch hit. 2-run home run for Stanton. Amazing! And the Yankees lead by 2.
Well. Just continues to swing it. That's 15 homers his last 34 games. And he really cranked it up a notch after we had our little discussion about the Hall of Fame last week, which wasn't exactly put in the proper perspective when it came to putting the clip together. We both said we would put him in the Hall of Fame. We were trying to put ourselves in the brains of writers, which maybe wasn't the best idea to do.
No, I don't know what to do. Social media sometimes just gets out of hand. I've had a couple of these where I've had to mute the conversation. And that's been the best thing for me. Yes, we both said we think Giancarlo Stanton should be in the Hall of Fame. MVP, 500 homers. That's what the Hall of Fame is for. Are the writers going to do that? I don't know.
I don't either.
Kind of what our discussion was. I don't think they will. I hope they do.
Yeah,
that's it.
He has been rolling though ever since we've said stuff. So it's been fun to kind of follow along and do that whole thing. I love that. By the way, how hard is it for a guy to come off the bench and do what Stanton did last night?
It's really hard, to be honest with you. I mean, you can say, hey, we can get as many swings as possible behind, the dugout or whatever. I don't know what they have at that facility that they're playing at right now. I'm not really sure, but it's a skill that needs to be learned. Like, you have to do it a bunch, I think, to feel comfortable, or you just have to be an absolute dog and just not worry about it. I was not good at it.
You know what the Yankees are good at? Hitting home runs. In the short 2-game sweep, 14 homers. I believe every run was accounted for via the home run. Are you worried at all, either down the stretch or certainly when they get to October where the pitching gets better, that they're too much of a one-trick pony on offense?
I don't think that's completely true. I think homers are very valuable, obviously, in the postseason and during the regular season. The most valuable thing you can do at the plate is hit a homer. So they're doing something right. I think they have enough guys getting on base. It's funny because they have these stats. If you look at their overall rankings, they're third in OBP, first in OPS. They're actually 11th in stolen bases. A lot of that's buoyed by two guys. Like Aaron Judge is helping those overall statistics a ton. And then Jose Caballero, who leads the league in stolen bases, is helping the stolen bases category a ton. But I think they're well-rounded enough. Ben Rice kind of taking over that catching position. He's had a nice little run here and a nice season, if we're being honest. So I don't think they're too one-trick pony for me. I like that they hit home runs. They get on base enough. And if they need to play small ball, I mean, that's really not their game. We'll see how they can handle it. They got a couple guys that can do some things.
Yeah, it's not the stolen bases as much as they don't grade out great as a base running unit. They just don't. Overall, the runs by home run, they are one of the top teams in baseball, but so are a lot of the good teams, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And we talk about this, that when you get to October, I want a team that can change with one swing of the bat. So I'm okay with it. I mean, yes, you're going to face better pitching. Yes, they're going to neutralize some of their big dudes. It happens a lot with Aaron Judge in the playoffs where he isn't Aaron Judge. He's Aaron. Giancarlo Stanton has his moments. He also can disappear in certain series. That's okay. I will still take my chances with them. I wouldn't feel badly at all with the way their team is constructed. Is it great? No. Is it good enough to get back to the World Series? I think so. I'll tell you what I'm excited about. That is that Yankees, Red Sox, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I tell you this all the time. I feel like we get that jam down our throats sometimes as baseball fans. This time, I think it actually means something. I know you guys are going to break it down on Friday's show. So super excited about that. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. All right. Today's episode, Baseball Today, it is brought to you by Brunt Workwear. Choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. If they felt good, they didn't last. If they lasted, they wrecked your feet. Well, Brunt Workwear finally ended that trade-off. Designed boots that withstand the toughest job sites while feeling as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. These might be the most comfortable work boots on the planet, even right out of the box. Not only are they incredibly comfortable, but they also deliver real performance on the job. Brunt was tired of workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that simply don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use the code TODAY at checkout. Just head on over to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code TODAY. You'll be good to go. And after you order, they're going to ask you where you heard about Brunt. Hey, do us a favor. Tell them it was from your favorite show. This one, Baseball Today. All right, we continue on. Make it 3 in a row for the Cubs as they inch just a little bit closer to the Brew Crew in the National League Central.
2. Line drive. Oh, man! Ball game. Cubs win. Nico snares the liner, and they hang on to win it 4-3.
You think Cubs fans were a little bit nervous there in the ninth?
Oh, yeah, of course they are. We talked about this yesterday, me and Jolly. You said, what is it going to take for, the Cubs to have a chance to win the division? Because we talked about it the day before you and I. We said this is probably done. Now they've reeled off 3 in a row, and they've cut the deficit down a ton. They got to win. There's one more, right? One more game today with the Brewers. If they win this one and they end up being, 5 games back, I mean, that to me is there's plenty of time left to go and get that division. So they're taking care of business, Chris.
Yeah, they are. And that place was rocking last night when Plencia came into the game. Fun little entrance now, Wrigley Field when the lights are dimming and all. That's a good look. The biggest news, though, I think that came out for the Cubs on Wednesday was first reported by ESPN Chicago's Jesse Rogers. He said that all-star right fielder Kyle Tucker actually had a hairline fracture on the top of his right hand. They found it out in June. He continued playing. Here is Craig Counsell.
Is it possible that this has caused a kind of like through the playing through it, change some things? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably likely that at some point that happened. But he wanted to play.
Has there been any imaging since?
No.
So do you guys feel like the fracture is healed at this point?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, hasn't been an issue.
Okay, this is pretty big news. Did either the Cubs or Kyle Tucker screw up?
This is such a weird situation because they think that the initial injury, this fracture, happened on June 1st against the Reds. And they didn't see anything initially on the x-ray. Sometimes you have to go and get an MRI to get really deep down to see a fracture. I had that happen to me with my rib. The problem is, Chris, in June, the guy absolutely raked. He raked in June. So that would be the time where he'd be in the most pain, or, maybe he would have to change his mechanics to compensate a little bit, but he crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. It wasn't until July on that now we're getting this slump. From July on, Chris, 189, 235 slug for the 560 OPS. So, what Craig is trying to say is maybe when he was hitting in June, he changed some things around that kind of like snowballed into bigger changes, and maybe that's what we're seeing now. Maybe he does seem a little quick to the draw, kind of like wrapping the ball a little bit right now, that's zapping some power. But this is a weird situation because, again, like the time where it should have hurt the most, he was crushing the ball. So I don't know how much this slump is affected by the hand. And in fact, like if I'm really thinking about it, putting myself in that situation, like I don't think it did anything to him. That's kind of like where I'm at.
So
has Kyle Tucker said anything? I haven't found any quotes from him on this yet. I'm sure we'll get some today, maybe.
Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, we haven't heard much from him at all. 4 extra base hits in July. I don't think anything in August. A ground ball rate of 54% this month, which is astronomical for a lot of people and out of this world bad for a guy like Kyle Tucker with his ability. So I can't ever question an athlete when he wants to play through something. I know that it's the organization's job to say, hey, have a seat. But then you mentioned the crazy numbers that he had in June. He actually played in the All-Star game, I believe, in mid-July, didn't he? So, you figure maybe that's the time he sits down and chills a little bit, tries to get a few extra days off, but none of that ever happened. So I can't say it was poorly handled by the Cubs or Kyle Tucker. If anything, a guy who's in a contract year, for him to go out and put his health on the line, because you don't know what that could turn into. I don't know if it could have turned into something worse, but maybe it could have. For him to do that, and then for the guy to ball the first month while he's hurt, that's pretty damn good.
311, 404, 578 in June. He crushed it. I actually talked about this with Jolly yesterday because Francisco Alvarez is dealing with some stuff with his hand from a slide as well. Let's stop sliding head first. Like, there's a couple guys. Go ahead and do it. If you're a base stealer, I know Kyle Tucker can do that. But like, let's why start sliding feet first?
However, I broke my wrist twice playing softball while sliding feet first. This pristine athlete right here, twice.
I'm just saying, dude. I don't know. I'm a feet first type of guy. If you're like me. Yeah. And your job is to drive runs in, like, let's just slide feet first. Let's not.
By the way, the first time I did it, just to let you know, I was in the workforce. So I was working in Cincinnati, Ohio at WXIX. Shout out Channel 19. I was the weekend sports producer. So I snapped my wrist. I had the cast, up to here or whatever. I had it colored blue. I had Chief Wahoo put on it and everything. And it was a great conversation piece out at the bar. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you who's a great athlete, and we know it. Fernando Tatis Jr. He continues to wow the baseball world, even when he doesn't have a bat in his hands.
So kind of reverse splits. High drive, right field. Back goes Fernando at the wall. He leaps in, makes the catch. Onando up into the air, makes the catch at the wall.
I think we talk about this several times a year, and I'm still amazed at how he has become the best right fielder ever since he moved from shortstop. He's incredible out there.
Well, he's such an athlete, Chris. He's got the body for it. He can run, he can jump. He's tall. He can do kind of everything. I mean, 6'3", 217 is what he's listed at. He's a freak out there. So he reminds me a lot of Alex Gordon, leaving the infield, going out there, becoming this premium defender. But you're right. It seems like we are talking about him taking one back almost every week. And don't look now, but 5-1 B WAR. Not having the best year offensively, but he's still right at the 800 OPS mark, playing, elite defense in the outfield, and he's got 24 swipes. This guy's just a ball player.
My bigger question is, who's the one guy, because we talk so much about offense on this show, who's the one guy you loved watching play defense?
There's a couple guys. I'll start off with my counterpart, third baseman, Joe Creedy. I got to see him play for the White Sox. Even came to the Twins for a year for his last year. But he was the guy that just he was this big, imposing figure at third base. It felt like you could not get the ball by him, but soft hands still. So I liked watching him play. And then a guy that I played a lot with was Ben Revere. And I think a lot of people forget about Ben Revere. Small guy, could run like crazy. He made some unbelievable catches in the outfield. This is one of the best ones. This is when he's on the Phillies. Watch this. Sheesh.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
It's incredible. Not the best arm out there for my guy Ben, but he could go get it. And one of the most infectious, fun personalities you're going to be around, always smiling. So shout out Ben Revere.
Yeah, not a big dude, but he looked like just a human muscle. There
was not an ounce of fat on this guy. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. For me, I try to stay away from being a homer or anything. But Omar Vizquel was a treat, and the 90s team that, sold out home games for 6 or 7 straight years. By the way, that play is in Game 6 of the World Series when they were down 3-2 in the series against the Marlins. That is a sick play against Charles Johnson. Yeah, he just made it fun. As Albert Bell was doing his thing, and Kenny Lofton was running around the bases, and Tomei and Ramirez were starting out, and Sandy Alomar was a part of that team, and Carlos Baerga. Omar Vizquel was the guy you could not take your eyes off defensively. He was just so electrifying. His hands, you talked about Joe Creedy having soft hands. I mean, this guy, I think he grew up in Venezuela, without a baseball glove, and that's how he learned how to field. He just was incredible. The only player that has more gold gloves at shortstop is Ozzie Smith. And Omar won his first one when he was 26 years old, and he won his last gold glove when he was 39, and he was still doing it. Ozzie was winning some of those when maybe Barry Larkin should have started winning them. But Omar was doing some crazy stuff. Just incredible.
He was around in Cleveland when I was still playing, and even then, he's older now, could still manipulate the glove like crazy. Honorable mention to Jose Iglesias, still doing it. I remember watching him in minor leagues. His hands very similar to Omar Vizquel in the way that he can manipulate his hands.
My dad used to call Vizquel a 100 RBI guy. He would drive in 60 and save 40.
I like that.
So that was the Norton Rose math back in the day, which I appreciated. Kind of like that. Shout out to Mountain Dew for sponsoring today's episode of Baseball Today. With bold flavors and a refreshing citrus kick, Mountain Dew, perfect for any occasion. Whether it's beach days, boat days, out on the golf course days, going to the ballpark days, or just about anything in between. We know your schedule gets busy, but you always want to have a little boost and an little refreshing citrus kick. We really love it and dig it when we're up at the warehouse because we've got the chairman of the Mountain Dew board, Dalton Feely, who you've seen fill on this show several times. He is walking around that warehouse. Who needs a do? Who needs a do? Who needs this? Who needs that? Who wants their Baja Blast? He is out there just giving it away. And you know what? It makes our day a little brighter. So yeah, summer is officially winding down. Kids are going back to school. Your schedule's going to get a little different, but you still can figure out a few days to go to the beach, to go tee off with that, driver, go let it eat. Maybe you go to the ballpark, catch a game. Maybe you just hang out with friends. Whatever you need, the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect pairing. So if that's what you're looking for, go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. All right. Talked a little bit about the Cubs earlier. They had an incredible moment last night against the Brewers in the broadcast booth. Thanks to my buddy Boog and Jim DeShays.
If he hits a ground ball to short to start the 6-4-3, yeah, that's a strike. Will you buy Monty sticks for everybody at the corner tap?
Absolutely.
We don't know if they have mozzarella sticks in the corner tap. The 1-1 outside. I'll go halvesies with you.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 Cubs. On the
Come on,
ground.
baby.
Let's go.
Mozzarella sticks for everybody.
Incredible. What do you think the bill ended up being for those two guys?
I don't know. I hope it's a lot, but that doesn't matter. Like I appreciate that so much more now that I'm doing games in the booth. Like putting that out there, then having it happen is such like a fun moment. So I'm stoked. Don't care how much money they had to spend. It's totally worth it. This clip is probably going everywhere. I love that. They should do that more often. And did this place have mozzarella sticks?
You know what? We didn't find out. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if we had mozzarella sticks, but they will find a place that does, and Boog will make good on it because he's that good a dude. I texted him last night. I said, save me a mozzarella stick. He's like, I love you, man. Absolutely. Let's do it.
That was awesome.
A couple big series coming up on Friday. We talked about Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Padres. Things could get interesting. We need some team that's kind of outside the wild card scope right now to make a little bit of a push. Hate it when we know the 6 teams with like 2 weeks to go. Yeah, I know you guys talked about them, so that's a possibility. Let's see. I don't know if Sawyer or Rourke put this in. Apparently, they do have cheese sticks on the menu.
Boom.
So there you go. Taken
Love
care
that.
of. Yep. All right. I appreciate everybody putting up with my my bouncy video today. When you're on the road, sometimes at these Airbnbs, it can get a little dicey. Hopefully, the audio was good because I know that Dan was just crushing it, as he always does. So thank you very much. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Friday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.